Hey, welcome back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for you. Know that energy is fluid, so roles could be reversed. Flip it, switch it, twist it. Interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Okay? Now, this is going to be a general message for Capricorn. However, if you wind up landing on this and it resonates with you, well, then you can, again, assume that the message was for you, especially here on the Psychic Soul Healer channel, because this channel tells us what the spiritual energies are. And the spiritual energies inside of us are the psychological and the emotional. See, when we have spiritual blocks, they're held in the body as stress. It's what becomes our energy vibration. And it's not just what becomes our energy vibration, that we become a magnet to who and what resonates with that same energy, but it comes out within our behaviorisms and our habits. So do I look at what's going to happen in your life and your connection? Of course I do. I want to look at the hidden truths. I want to look at the triggers. I want to look at the wounds. And I obviously want to look and see how your situation is playing out. I like to look at the spiritual situation, the spiritual energies, because that will tell me why your person is doing what they're doing. It will also help us determine how you should interact with the person that you are, again, tuned in here. If, again, this story resonates with you, if it's, how are you supposed to deal with your situation? Because every situation is karmic, which means learn. It depends on what you do. We associate karma with bad, and that's mainly because we hear more about bad karma than we do about good karma. So every situation has the potential to be able to be shapeshift. We have the opportunity to quantum jump to get a better outcome of our situation a lot of times. But again, it's karmic and it depends on what you do. Now, if you're new to this channel and you want to win a free reading with me, all you got to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the magic word in the description box. Let's see what that word is going to be today. The word of the day is going to be synthesis. Synthesis. Okay, so you're going to write that word in your comment bar, and you'll know if I chose you if I wrote the word winner underneath. If I did, you and I will correspond back and forth on the YouTube platform. You don't have to worry about where's my link, how am I going to know that I'll post your link the day of the show, the day of your reading, underneath the comments. And usually what I'll do is I will do a reading before or a reading after, but nevertheless, you will always get the link right underneath where we're corresponding in one of those comment bars. So you'll just have to click on it and take you right into the reading. All right. And by the way, anybody that needs to know about anything of any importance in relevance to the channel, you can find in that description box. You'll find my $7.99 and $9.99 a month package for the Psychic Soul Healing coaching. And what this is it's inner child healing, it's shadow healing, and then it's reparenting. So it's a combination of the three. And so we'll be able to know, again, that you'll be able to create the life that you want from doing this coaching program, because again, our shadows are the perceived aspect of ourselves that we have rejected and detached from. And a lot of times the wisdom of how to create our life successfully lies in those detached parts of ourselves. So it's very interesting. It's a very empowering type of coaching, because you're able to apply the coaching within your everyday life and get different outcomes in your life. So that's good if you're someone that suffers with financial problems. It's something great if you're someone that suffers from relationship problems, or you're just in a space of not knowing who or what it is that you want out of life. All right. So you can find all that groovy information in the description box. Card that just jumped out. Now we're looking at the spiritual energy first. And again, I said that this reading is going to be for Capricorn, but again, if you land on it and you resonate with it, it's for you. Okay, the first card out is Genesis. The Genesis, the genius. The genius is that creative part of ourselves, that's the psychic part of ourselves, that's a supernatural part of ourselves. There's a creative genius. So again, I'm feeling like someone's in this type of energy. They're actually in the process of creating their life, and they're creating their life through usually their job, people that they choose to be around. So I'm feeling a lot of different changes that are going on right around now, and it's not a bad thing. However, if we're someone that's not comfortable with change, it can feel, again, turbulent. Again, prudence, worried about one's future, thinking about one's future, and which is great. Again, a lot of times when we're creating, again, through our unique individuality, and that's through our purpose. And when we're creating our purpose, this is where we find our gift of style. And so whatever it is that we do in life, whether or not it's public speaking, whether it's teaching, whether it's acting, whatever profession, you yourself has a unique style that's different from everyone else's. And this is the creative genius part of self. And so it's a learning process, and it's mainly geared towards your future. Again, what you want your future to look like, and for a lot of different reasons. It's not just your future, it's that as you are creating, you're actually creating yourself. And this is based on high morals. It's based on, a lot of times, if we want to manifest something successfully in our life, it's not that there aren't turbulent things that can happen in the environment. A lot of times it's not uncommon. However, the creative genius is what gets us through. And again, the focus is all on the future. So again, but doing things from a very high and moral perspective, and also caring a lot about the quality of one's work, because again, that's in alignment with spiritual law. So again, I'm feeling what doesn't matter what it is that you do. We're looking at the spiritual energy first. And this is actually a very high vibration energy, because the genius part of self is the God part of self. It's a part of self that is intuitive. It's a part of self that transcends all time and space. Like, if you can imagine it, you can create it. And so there is this intuitive navigating system that actually happens when we are creating. So we're being led by our heart and our gut, and those are your internal navigation systems. And so again, especially when we're coming from a very high vibration, so I'm feeling like you're going to get a lot of attention, recognition because of this. It's again because of your light, because again, you're coming from a very high vibration. So why do we want to look at that? Well, first of all, it's because we're seeing that just by this spiritual energy that you're going to get good results. So even if it's taking a little bit longer than expected, it's because it's being done really ethically and built on strong bones. That's a root chakra issue, to create support. Again, we're looking at the spiritual energy. So there's a sense of you transcending yourself, and you're healing yourself through the creative process. And because again, the focus is always on holding that light, and that's by giving and receiving of love. And we do that through our free will, what we choose to do, where we choose to put our time, our energy, our focus, and our money, and by becoming what we want to see within the world. And that we're holding this vibration. Now, the issue is that we don't just attract the light, we're also going to attract the not so light. People that want our light. And they might not want to be friends with us, but they want to be associated with us. It's again, you will draw people to you that not only you are a vibrational resonance to, but also people that need what you have, which is usually when soulmate twin flames come in to our life. So it's just something to look at. So let me just look at more spiritual, again, the underline, and then we'll look and see what's going on in your situation, because this is very high vibrational energy. This is very good energy. I am a spirit having a human experience, and I'm here to get closer to love. So it wouldn't be uncommon, like I said, for us to attract people that need what we have. And so we can't just learn love through, having people just express love the way that we express love. We're going to get a person that thinks differently. We're going to get a person that reacts differently, responds differently. So where you are, you're creating yourself, you're in a high vibration of love, and I feel like you're attracting someone that needs your light, and also that they are a soulmate, because we learn about love through many different perceptions. Why? Because again, we're down here in physical form to learn and to manifest. We're supposed to be learning. We're not separate from God through seeing our life through all different perspectives. All God is that high vibration of unconditional love. It's what the universe's energy is made up of, and it's what that energy inside of us is made up of. So the shadow parts of self, or the parts of self that we disassociate from, that we again reject, mainly because we're looking at the situation in our life and basing who we are on those situations. And a lot of those situations, a lot of times we don't like. They made us feel bad. And from really the lack of spiritual knowledge, right? Because if we're not educated in how the universe works and spiritual laws, a lot of times we wouldn't really be so conscious to understand that we can create our life. However, we do get spiritual soulmates, and those soulmates are down here to teach. So it's again, you're down here as a spirit having a human experience and falling in love with another soul. And so again, to get closer to love, it's that we recognize that energy of unconditional love is, and that where that person feels like home, that person feels familiar to us. There's a comforting energy there. However, they can have psychological and emotional imbalances due to their life experiences, which again are what creates the shadow. So again, I'm feeling like you're at a high vibration and had to transcend the limitations of these perceptions at one time. Now this person is actually going through their awakening. They're going through a dark night of the soul. And a lot of times dark night of the soul is what leads to the awakening. And it's because life was not built on the right high moral characters. They were mainly built on ego, on self, on survival, on the physical realm, on the limitations of the physical world. But we're not down here to learn those. Yes, we have to master them to again survive, but the real reason why we're down here is to again evolve into the higher states of consciousness when we're looking excuse me. Oh God. Oh, sorry. When we're looking at the spiritual energy, as I die right here. Okay. So I am again a spiritual being having a human experience, so that rather that tells me It's again a soul's relationship. And that soul's relationship is where the person feels familiar. However, there is blocks because I don't feel like they're vibing at the same vibration that you are vibing at. So these are the energies that are influencing you, that you're creating, and that you are drawing to you a person that I feel like you're separated from, a person that is a soulmate that again is not vibing at the same vibrational frequency, and you're both learning from this experience because you both are so different in how you handle things. And so you're trying not to focus so much on this person. Now let's look at the hidden truths about what your person thinks, and we'll pull like 3 cards. What does Capricorn's person think of Capricorn? This is what we want to know. You were the best thing in my life. So, like I said, I did feel like you were in separation. And I feel like they don't just think that you were the best thing that was in their life. Like, oh, yeah, like you gave me so much love. I don't feel like this person 100% let you in. However, I feel like when they look around at all the people in their life, they see that your morals and your character and the way that you live your life is really of a high vibration. They might not use the word high vibration, but they can see that you're someone of quality. That and in that, they're judging their life. They judged a lot of people in their life after you left. They had something to compare to. I don't believe that they had anything to compare to before. And that happens a lot of times, right? When we're a spirit having a human experience, our perception of love and what we think it's supposed to look like a lot of times is very different from the person that we perceive is our soulmate. And that is actually what messes us up. That is actually what gives us trauma a little bit, because then we perceive that the person that we're connected to doesn't love us. And so, again, the experience of learning the lesson of love, which is, again, what this card says right here, is we wouldn't learn that lesson unless we got angry and walked away and really was set in saying, no, this is really what I think and believe, and that love should look like this, and to walk away. And then over time, missing that person. And then over time, not even caring who's right, who's wrong, but the essence of what remains over time is love. Because there is no time and there's no separation. There's no time and space. With love, it transcends. A lot of times you can say, I feel grandma, I feel mom around, or feel dad around. It's because their spirit is around, because love never ends. And our connection to love, you can love somebody around the world, and that person around the world will feel you. They'll see you in their mind. Again, because ESP is through the heart and mind, it transcends that. So this is a story of that. But again, it's almost like you had to leave in order for them to see it. But this says more about them than you, because again, they were not on a high vibration. You are creating your life. So whatever they did to try to manipulate, which is usually what people do when they don't want to give anything, but they feel connected, they manipulate, and you didn't fall for it. And so where most people do, I wish I could share my good news with you. I feel like this person kind of wants to tell you that they grew up. I also feel like they want to apologize. I feel like they missed the friendship a lot. So it's again, they realizing that you were a person of quality, and that right now I'm feeling they could use a good friend. And that whatever happened in their life, and I'm saying you were part of whatever tower happened in their life. and they're looking around who's in their life and they're comparing and they can't help it. And it's just because it's again part of the ego part of self. It's always when we're wounded, we're always going to look for what we don't have. And so again, you live much different from them. The people that they hang around with live the way that they do. That's why they're not inspired, right? Again, birds of a feather flock together. So a lot of times, if we don't know anything else, then that's how we live. But I feel like it was almost like your person was living on autopilot. They were living, and it's not like their life was miserable, but to really live is to you have to be around different people, different situations. You got to expand consciousness. You got to be able to look at people and situations and experiences from all different angles to get the truest and most honest, answer of whatever it is that you're like perceiving. And like I said, I feel like your person was a little tunnel visioned. You didn't act the way that they expected you to act. They played games. You walked away because you were like, you are playing games. And they didn't expect that. They expected, again, somebody to fight, argue, chase after them. You didn't do that. You created yourself. And it actually raised your vibration where this person, I feel like, doesn't even know how to approach you now because they see, first of all, that they misjudged you. They misjudged you. They misread you. They perceived that you were one way. And now I feel like they are perceiving themselves as they first perceived you. And so a shadow will do that a lot of times. It's either I can never see someone on an equal level because I have trust issues. So I'll either put someone on a pedestal or believe that they're like again beneath me. And so that the shadow part of self, and that now it's almost like they're perceiving you how they once like to perceive themselves, only how they were trying to perceive themselves was not really built on high morals, where you are. And I wish I could take back my words. I feel like this person never really opened up and that you could feel the deep connection, but they breadcrumbed. And like if you would say something to them, they would twist it around. Again, this is how I said when I said, I feel like they never gave. They never gave. They wanted you to give. They manipulated. And they manipulated in the way that they felt like if they could just keep you hooked, you'd never go away. And apparently, there's the people down wherever they're living, whether that's, wherever they're living, there's people down with that, will chase, that will be there regardless of how much they give them, how they treat them. And what your person sees is that you're not of that, and not because you walked away from them, but because of everything that you're doing within your life, that you're giving yourself the love, the attention. And this is really healing for you. And understand, a lot of people don't understand how they can make their soulmate like have the karma. How can you shape shift a situation where you're connected to someone that breadcrumbs you, that has feelings for you, and they don't, and they don't express it, where you feel like your person is detached? Well, this is how you heal it. You make them have their karma by you giving yourself the love. Because when you give yourself the love, you're going to attract so much. And when people see that you have other options, you'd be very fast to see how the way that they treat you changes. See, when we don't invest in ourselves and we wait for the person to invest in us that is emotionally they can't, well, we stay in a place of where we get angry. We get angry because everybody needs emotionally to feel connected. But But we see a lot of people today like this, that they have detachment issues where they love, but they want to be in full control. They don't want to be vulnerable. And so them to treat me the way that I need for them to treat me. Or how can we integrate this spiritual wound? Because clearly they have a detachment issue, they have a disassociation issue. And you know this too if they drink a lot, if they smoke weed a lot, if they, again, they you feel like they're there, but they're not really there, that they, again, are not good really expressing their emotions. There's signs. And so understand you can, when you have a soul mate, it's always karmic, which means learn. And so it depends on what you do. Now, it doesn't mean that you can fully change a person if they are dead set and saying, no, I'm not going to change it. However, you giving yourself the love, you will not wind up with this big, gigantic hole in your heart where you, again, feel like now, once the person isn't in your life, it feels worse because you've sacrificed a lot. You abandoned yourself. You gave of your resources. You gave of your time. You gave of your love, and the person didn't value it the way that you valued the relationship. And so that's how big the hole is when relationships don't work out and we're the ones on the end of giving, giving, giving. We say, well, I love that person, so I didn't know. And it's all about boundaries, and it's all about making sure that you're continuing to feed yourself. In this story, Capricorn did that. They fed themselves, they created themselves. This very high vibration, this genius part of self is that God part of self. And when we have a heartbreak because someone is emotionally manipulating us, well, they don't realize that the Holy Spirit fills us up with love through the co-creation process, through creating ourselves and becoming ourselves. We are at such a high vibration, such a high vibration of light, that it's, again, it's this high vibration and, is all that. So of course they see that you're the best thing in their life because your character is displaying it. But you're also not crying and whining and saying, pleading with this person and chasing after them and negotiating with them. And it's again because you don't feel the need emotionally to do that, because you're getting it through, again, the co-creation process. But in that co-creation process, you're, again, becoming a magnet to other people and situations and experiences, which is what shifts the perception of your person here, where now they're like, oh, now I'm nervous. Of course you're nervous, because it's like when you're breadcrumbing, you're never getting to know the person on a deep emotional level. And that's what happened. Your person didn't do that. They knew that there was a very deep connection. They knew that they had feelings, but they were, they talked to a lot of different people. So they didn't take the time. So they didn't really feel like they were going to get affected when you walked away. They thought you were the one that was going to be affected. And that's mainly not because of who you are, because that's because of what they've experienced in their life. So, of course, now they're seeing what it is, and they are in a place of like, oh, I wish I could take my words back, but let's see, what are they going to do? Because it's like, yeah, you wish that you could take back your words, and I wish I could take back my words. I wish I could share my good news. I wish, again, I miss the friendship, that this was genuine. And I realized that it was genuine, because I think normally when people meet each other online, they do all that sexy talk and, of trying to get to know each other, supposedly. But it's like no one is really getting to know each other. Everyone's in fantasy land talking about, how they're really attracted to each other and how they're going to run away and get married. And everyone talks like they've known each other and dated for like a million years. Oh, I love you. There are people telling each other that they love each other like the first day that they meet each other and the second time they talk on the phone. So it's not, it's fantasy. It's normally passion, the way that this person goes about, again, that they how they conduct their life. They don't let people in close. With you, they didn't felt like they didn't let you in close. But again, it's a spiritual connection. So they can't walk away. So it didn't matter that they thought that they could protect themselves. You can't protect yourself from love. And again, this person is learning that they are a human person having an experience of learning how to get closer to love. And how would that happen? It can only happen through soulmates. All right, so soulmate. We knew this already. We knew this. Again, we wouldn't stick around long enough until it's learned. And soulmate, anybody could be your soulmate. But soulmate, someone that teaches you, and clearly you're teaching this person about love because you're giving yourself the love and you're attracting love. And now they, again, actually love because they can't walk away. And so they're actually feeling love. I want to work things out. Because now they're ruminating and now they see your worth. That's again because you're vibing high. I will find my way back to you one day. Well, there we go. I mean, this is how they feel about you. What's the what would we say about this? Because this is soulmate energy, but like what does the universe tell us to do with this energy and how to deal with this energy? Because, and let's see whether or not what your hidden truths are. Nothing will come of this situation. So I don't think that by the time they get back to you that you might not even want it, or you might not believe it. Like you might think, oh yeah, which is more what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like you're like, yeah, you're going to come in and you're going to tell me all these nice words like you always do, but you're not. That's what you do. You come in and you say nice words and then you don't, because that's what your experience is. So there's a sense of you holding back. There's a sense of you being like, you need to prove it. And this person knows that, I feel. And that's because it's taken them some time to figure this out. You know, unfortunately, there is a space between what we sow and what we reap, right? Again, you plant corn, and the corn doesn't pop out and sprout up overnight. It takes a little time. And so, like I said, it took some time for your person. They walked away. They thought that they didn't care. They talked to other people. They are surrounded by people from the past, from who they've recently met, who has been in their life. And again, they now have something to compare to. And see, they're not emotionally intelligent. So their part of this is not so much I want to like manipulate, and part of it is I'm not strong enough emotionally, which we would know this if they're not on the highest vibration. Remember, they're attracted to you because they need what you have. Communication is key. So I asked, I said, what does the universe tell us to do? And the universe tells us, I would say, act like nothing's going to come of it. And the only reason why is because you want to see change behavior. That you need to, again, be a little reserved. And then if your person then says something, notices the change, because again, you need to see that they've changed. They would need to prove it to you through, number one, communicating. I feel like they have a huge problem communicating, and like was one of the issues from when they were in your life previously. So it's not that, again, they didn't, but they were always afraid to get close. And part of intimacy issues is if we are afraid to get close, we can't do that. We can't be in a relationship with someone and be afraid to open up. It's not going to work then. Let's look at the triggers, what has happened in the past. I'm just going to pull two. And then I want to see how you feel. Okay. Substances, the unhealthy choices you have made with your body has been affecting me. So again, like I said, this person is detached. And so when a person's detached because they emotionally can't give, they it causes fights. It makes a person feel like they can't be loved. It makes that person, and you're not the first time that this has happened. So what they do is they escape, and they escape through unhealthy choices. So they could drink too much. I think they some smoke too much, and again, and I think I said that in the beginning of this, is that again, when we're out of balance, when we have shadows, and the shadow parts of ourself are the parts of self that we detach from. The mind doesn't know that we've detached it. The ego takes over and it makes up an identity, a mask. So, which I believe that your person was living by for a long period of time. And so, again, you come into their life, the mask needs to come off. And that's the problem. It's like this person's afraid to do that, but not because they don't like you, it's because they don't like who they are. And so they were looking at you thinking that you should be acting a certain way. And because you weren't, they were getting triggered. And when they get triggered, that's when they do substances. So this person, again, isn't on the highest vibration. And they would need to be able to communicate in order to actually heal. Okay, trust. I felt very uneasy in this connection because I can no longer trust you. And again, this is where the problem occurs. So again, substances, emotional issues also causes trust issues, but trust issues because emotionally checked out. So this person has realized that they haven't given anything and they want to come back and make it work. This is where they are. And what the universe says, well, they can do that, but they're going to have to prove to you where you're like that you give a lot of boundaries. You don't let the person in, you watch what they do, and they prove themselves to you if you want this relationship. Now, for some of you Capricorns, you will, some of them you won't. Yeah, like there's again 9 of Cups. It's like I feel like there's a part of you that knows that this person is your soulmate. It's like that you might not even want this person to care about this person, but just like them, they can't shut it off. And that's how you know what a real divine connection is. A real divine connection is when it's difficult, you want to walk away, the person messes up, you really don't want to take them back because of how they acted and how they act, but you can't help it. And the other person says, well, I don't want to change. I don't want to have to be humble, come back and apologize and change, but they can't help it because it's again getting back to learning what unconditional love is. And a lot of times, if we grew up in a family that we felt unconditional love wasn't given, but love was only given through, like it wasn't given freely. It was only given if we acted a certain way, if we did a certain thing, we felt it. So we would have a distorted perception of what love was. So divine relationships teach about love, but unless we love ourselves, we are not really going to be able to accept that love. And this is what we see in this story in the beginning. This person couldn't accept the love that was there, which obviously must have triggered Capricorn to think, I'm not lovable. But what Capricorn did was they didn't run after their soulmate. What they did was they put the love inside themselves. And that actually was healing. It transcended their mind. It also taught their person that, again, that they weren't going to put up with it. That they weren't going to chase them, they weren't going to put up with it, which it showed their person. This person is like nobody else. That was the deal breaker. This is why I want it to work out, because I feel like I could get along with this person. I could see us getting along. I could see it. I could see everything working out. And it can, if again, you hold back a little bit, Capricorn, because you still need to train that person once they get into your life. And that's by not giving the entire buffet table away at once. It's through, again, still continuing to create yourself and grow yourself and giving that person whatever time, but with boundaries, because they need to, again, trust, and your perception will be a lot better to see whether they're honest, whether they're not. Again, when it's so close up to the picture, you don't see all the little details. Your intuition, you're not so close up to the picture. And understand that if you communicate to the point where this person learns how to be safe and understand where you feel safe. So it's boundaries, and whether you both kind of teach each other, like through the way that you act, through how you act towards yourself and how you act towards each other and how you act in the world, and you'll be okay, because your person wants this. They've done some healing. Does that mean that they're healed fully? Unfortunately, no. How do you think we heal? We heal through soulmates. We heal through our soul family, people that come into our life that show us a different perception. And what is it all about? Learning that we're not separate from God, this unconditional love. And so, what better way than through your soulmate? I'm going to leave that there, Capricorn. If you resonated with this, again, like the video, write the magic word in your comment bar. I don't remember what that was. You'll have to go back to the beginning of the video, or you can write whatever word I have in the description box, because sometimes I just put a random word, the last word. You can put that in. You can like, again, the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word that, again, I have in the description box, or whatever word I said in the beginning of the video in your comment bar, and you'll know if I chose you, if I wrote the word winner underneath. If I did, we'll correspond back on YouTube, see the best time and day that works for the both of us. And then what you'll do is the day will come and you'll find the link underneath all those comments. So all you'll have to do is click on the link and it'll bring you right into your reading. All readings are done live. This way it's in spiritual alignment, which is what's best for everyone, what's best for me, again, what's best for the person that wins, and what's best for everyone collectively on YouTube that's going to resonate with the video. All right, guys, I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.